Enter the magical world of monarch butterflies. Our journey shows this persistent creature as fragile as it is resilient.
Monarch butterflies are incredibly unique in that in the butterfly world, in the family of Lepidoptera, they are one of the very few that have a migration. And not only do they have a migration, but they have a migration that extends thousands of miles, as far as southern Canada, all the way down to their wintering grounds in Mexico. And the longest path of that migration is roughly 2,500 miles.
These wintering grounds in Michoacan, Mexico, are not just a refuge for the monarchs, but an example of why it's important we continue to help the environment.
World Wildlife Fund has been working in the conservation of the migratory monarch butterfly for many, many years. And in 2000, with scientific information, was able to help the Mexican government to extend the protected area where the monarch butterflies overwinter. They created the monarch butterfly biosphere reserve.
When I think about visiting the wintering grounds of the monarch butterfly, the thing that comes to mind first are the people. And when you visit the sanctuaries in the monarch butterfly biosphere reserve, you're visiting the homeland of people who are caring for these creatures. So for me, that's the face of the butterflies are the people who live in this place, who protect them.
Every little part of the migration is crucial. The monarch's migration is not a lone journey, but a series of interactions between the butterflies and the people and places they encounter. The life cycle of the monarch butterfly includes a metamorphosis, one of nature's most unique transformations.
To understand monarch butterfly migration, it's really important to understand the development of this butterfly because it goes through what's called metamorphosis. Adult butterflies lay eggs, and they lay their eggs on the milkweed plant. And those eggs develop into caterpillars. And those caterpillars, their primary job is to eat as much as possible, but they only eat one plant, and that plant is milkweed. So then they become a chrysalis, and then they metamorphose. So their cells literally go into a goo, and then they rebuild into another organism, the adult phase of a butterfly. That butterfly hatches, and then it's in its adult phase.
Access to milkweed is the most important part of the monarch life cycle. It's where the next generation will begin, ensuring the continuation of the species. As the monarchs navigate the vast landscapes of North America, their presence reminds us of the importance of our actions and their effects on the natural world. As we look deeper into the monarch story, we meet the reality of the threats they face. Their habitat, once covered in milkweed and wildflowers, has been transformed by many factors.
And so the biggest concern in the wintering grounds is trying to combat illegal timber harvesting. Preserving the monarch butterfly migration is looking at the actual pathway that butterfly takes across the journey from spring into summer into fall through the United States. Being able to reduce the amount of insecticides that we use in our farmlands is going to be a huge strategy to be able to make sure that monarch butterflies can persist.
The monarch's habitat is an essential part of their life cycle. The loss of milkweed due to agricultural practices are extremely dangerous to the butterflies.
These monarch butterflies are confronting many threats. First is milkweed extinction or depletion. There has been a lot of urban expansion and agricultural expansion. So they've been using, of course, herbicides, pesticides, and that impacts all of the plants, including the milkweed. And monarchs depend on milkweed to reproduce. And unfortunately, we learned that as we are producing more agricultural goods and as we are expanding our urban areas, we are killing those milkweeds.
The monarch butterfly's journey, filled with many potential problems, crosses much of North America.
Being able to ensure that milkweed and other nectar plant species are available throughout the entire range of the monarch butterfly, those are going to be the strategies that we need to put in place to make sure that this amazing phenomena is here to stay.
On their 2,500-mile journey, monarchs navigate through many obstacles, such as environmental hazards, shrinking breeding grounds, and the loss of milkweed due to pesticides.
And if we don't do it quickly, and if we don't do it now, we're going to continue to see the trend of the monarch butterfly, the migratory monarch butterfly, falling and decreasing in population.
So there's many factors, related to a changing climate that influences monarchs. The temperature and weather patterns will influence, how quickly they move and what happens to them. So if it's colder, if it's a colder than normal year, it might take them longer to develop that first generation. But then if it's too warm, they might move too far north too soon, which would also, delay their development.
The journey that the monarch butterflies undertake is unique. These little guys weigh no more than 1 ounce, and yet they can travel up to 3,000 miles. These guys are not going to complete the migration back. They just go back after the winter. They go back to the United States. They look for milkweed where they're going to put the eggs. They die, and the next generation is going to continue.
This unique cycle crosses many generations and ensures the monarch butterfly continues to prosper. We are reminded that their survival is directly linked to our actions and the health of our shared planet. The monarch's flight is not just a natural wonder, but a powerful motivation for change, driving us to protect and participate in the conservation of our world's biodiversity. The process to preserve the monarch butterfly's legacy is more than a mission, it's a movement. Across their range, individuals and organizations are working together to solidify the future of these incredible creatures.
Everywhere along the route of the monarch butterfly that it exists throughout its life cycle, there are incredible people doing amazing work to be able to help conserve habitat that they rely upon and to be able to ensure that this migration exists in the future.
Each action taken to protect the monarchs impacts their migratory path. As we witness their numbers rise and fall, our commitment to their cause must remain constant. Across the vast landscapes these butterflies travel through, humans have come to help and interact with these creatures with a sense of empathy and urgency. This interaction is a display of our ability for conservation and compassion towards even the smallest of creatures.
I have the opportunity throughout the year to be able to guide people on wildlife tours throughout North America. And one of the trips that I'm able to guide is actually to the wintering grounds of the monarch butterfly.
A massive community of caretakers and conservationists has formed across North America to support the migratory monarch.
When you work with a species as charismatic as the monarch butterfly, is this not difficult to engage people? This is an insect that you can see in your backyard here in the United States, but you can also see it in Mexico and you can also see it in Canada.
Both the caretakers and the butterflies transcend borders across North America. People all over the continent are creating safe habitat spaces for these butterflies. The monarch's journey has become a shared one, with their fate linked to our individual and collective environmental actions. Let the monarch's journey be our example for a future where each little thing can inspire a human to act, to protect, and to support. The conservation of the monarchs is a call to action for everyone to help protect their future. Our efforts are crucial to the species' survival.
In the United States, you can do a lot. You can stop using herbicides, you can stop using pesticides or fertilizers. All those chemicals are gonna end in the soil, are gonna kill all the plants, but also gonna kill the milkweed.
Monarch Watch heads the Monarch Way Station program, so that's where we've got some guidance on milkweed plants to include and nectar plants, and you can register your way station. You could help in your community to create a way station at a library or a school or other community types of locations.
Creating monarch way stations, curbing pesticide use, and fostering native plant growth are just a few ways we can contribute to the survival of the monarch butterfly. The story of the monarch butterfly is not complete. It is still being affected by the actions we take and the efforts we make every day.
We're learning things that we never thought was possible. And the monarch butterfly is this beautiful example of a species that is preposterous, this half-gram animal traveling 2,500 miles to a place it's never been before, but its great ancestor has been to the exact tree that it's going to end up. When we think about the monarch butterfly, it is a charismatic species. And that captures the imagination of people. It inspires people to action. We as people can come together across boundaries, across neighborhoods and cities and countries, and we can take care of the species that we live alongside in this one earth, this one home.
The monarch story inspires people across North America to help these butterflies continue to thrive in their annual migration.
My advice would be to go out there, enjoy nature, and see what you can do. There is a lot to do. Everything that we do in our life has an impact in this planet. From the things that we buy, from the food that we eat, how we transport ourselves, but also what we do outside. Do we trash? Are we, looking into using natural compost instead of fertilizers? What can we do is very important. Question yourself and make sure that every action that you do impacts in a positive way, not only for the planet, but for your loved ones. It's for us, it's for the humanity.
Every garden planted, every pesticide not sprayed, and every voice raised in advocacy helps the monarchs continue to prosper. From Canada to Mexico, we can all share the migratory monarch butterfly experience. Their successes represent our shared actions and efforts towards conservation and environmentalism. As we move forward, let the monarch be an example to the conservation and future for other species. Their journey reminds us that hope is a choice we can make every day.